Hey everybody, it's me, Coffee Stitcher. It is Sunday, April 30th, the day before Maynia. My birthday was Friday, and it was a very good birthday. How was y'all's week? Excellent, that's really great to hear. Alright, we've got a lot in this video. We have whip updates, we have a lot of haul, we've got finalized Maynia plans, and a new start. So, let's get right to it. I don't think there was a whole lot of Q&A in this week. Thanks everyone for the birthday wishes. Let's see. Actually, I don't think there was any Q&A. Alright, well, yes, the Stash Queen was unable to join us, but the Queen of Starts and I did make it to Stitch Knits yesterday. There was a lot of damage done. But, so we'll do Stash in a moment, because that's going to lead directly into the Maynia plans. So I'll show whips. Let's see, I finished up, or I started and I finished Peter Pan. The only real changes I made to it were I changed the green in his costume just a little bit. I changed his pose so he's a little bit more like Mary Martin. Tinkerbell is a little metallic French knot. That was really it. That was all I really did change-wise. So next is, I believe her name, I think, is Fern the character? I know Charlotte is the spider. I think it's Fern. Fern and, is it Wilbur the pig? I'm so bad with Charlotte's Web. Because I was so freaked out by spiders, I didn't really watch Charlotte's Web as a kid. So I worked on that. And I worked on Welcome Sal. I didn't get another part finished like I'd intended to. I had a not so great Thursday, and that was the day I was going to be working on it. So, but I did finish part 9 and the start of part 10. So, I'll try and finish part 10 today. And then my new start for my birthday, because you always start something on your birthday, was I started my Bothy Threads Cut Through Haunted House. So there's the design. And the music room is kind of right in the middle, so that's where I started. And that's what I got done. So, I'm not normally a solid fill person like this, but I'm actually really enjoying this one. So, once we get a couple of things finished, this one will most definitely be coming back out to play. Alright. Then, as part of my birthday, the lovely Queen of Starts gave me a really cool Oz journal. She also gave me a Wizard of Oz Grime Guard. And these really adorable Wizard of Oz needle minders. And I think Scarecrow's supposed to be doing this, but it kind of looks like he's dancing. Actually, they kind of all look like they're dancing. But they're so pretty, and I love them. So, thank you, Kate. Alright. That was the easy part. Now for the longer part. So, we'll start with flosses, and then I'll show you the new charts that I got. Well, and a little bit of fabric. But 2 of the pieces of fabric are being used in Maynia, so you'll see them in a moment. But I got a piece of Crystal Storm, 32 count. It's a fat 16th, and that's for the Stitchovia Santa that was in, I think it was Cross Stitch Crazy last December. Alright. Now, a lot of these are actually being used in Maynia for other things. I got a white highlights, which is for Passport for snow. So, let's see. I got these 4 are for 13 colonies. So, and they're classic colorworks. Oh, first, before I get into that, and then Abby Bella Stitch, I was talking in a group, or in Maynia, about, a group of us were talking about, how, Gentle Arts is not always the easiest to find. Like, there have been a couple of colors that no one's been able to get. And I was like, yeah, I need burnt orange to finish out my bees. Well, she sent me 2 skeins of burnt orange. So, now my bees are complete. Thank you, Abby. So, and she sent me a cute little card with a coffee cup on it, and she said, may your OCD find some relief. And it did. Okay, so, let's see. I'll use this to kind of help me back. So, I got my 2 skeins of Caterpillar that were needed for 13 colonies. Skein of Stepping Stones. And a skein of Roasted Chestnut. And then I also needed 1 week's Dye Works. I needed Dolphin. So, I got those for that. And then the rest of this, I needed, and I'm not sure which green I'm going to go with yet, so we'll throw that in when I get there. Or in a few moments, but I'm using one of these 2 greens in Summer Sweetness. So I've got Spring Grass and Kiwi. Kiwi's here, Spring Grass is here. Probably Spring Grass is what I'm going to go with, but we'll see. And then there were a couple of new colors. Gotta find those. Of Gentle Arts. There's one. You were purchased because I needed them to finish out my C's. There we go. Let's see, I'm trying to organize these just a little, because they're a little bit by project. Okay. So these are the 3 new colors that were released this year. We've got Misty Harbor, Sage, which is much more, no, I guess it's a little more green in person, and Lagoon, which is more of a blue-green than it's photographing. Then to finish out my C's, I got Chamomile and Cottage Blue. And then these are all for one project. I needed 2 skeins of Ruby Slipper, 1 skein of Endive, and 1 skein of Old Covered Bridge. So an Endive is much more green than it's showing, and Old Covered Bridge is more gray-brown than it's showing. Sorry that colors don't always show like they should. And then the rest of this is all for another project. So I've got Honeydew, which is not as green as I would have expected. Loganberry. Gold leaf. Maple syrup. Wood trail. And tarnished gold. And then from Weeks Dye Works, peacock. Kentucky bluegrass. Pelican gray. Charcoal. And lucky. So those were all the flosses. Now for the charts. Let's see, I picked up the third in the Garden Club series, which is by Blackbird Design, which is Honeybee. So there's it. So I'm slowly accumulating these. I think I'm going to try and do them next year. I picked up the Little House Needleworks library that says an open book is a window to the world. I picked up the Quaker Fantasies Oz, because it finally came in. And then we get into now the Maynia plans. Okay, so I bought 3 designs, 3 charts that are being turned into Maynia starts. I got Elizabeth's Needleworks Fairy Tale Sampler. I'm doing a complete stash dive on it. So I picked the colors out last night. Needle minder wise, I'm using an Ariel needle minder. And I'm doing it on 32 count Crystal Helix by Picture This Plus. So, like I said, I just did a complete stash dive for that. Alright. That'll be my last start for Maynia. I had a note card somewhere that told me what order I was doing them all in. But I'm kind of working my way backwards right now, so that'll just sort of work. I bought Let Freedom Ring, the one that everybody's doing that's so awesome, from Lila's Studio. I'm subbing Calico Kitty. I switched for Ruby Slipper. And I'm actually doing it on 32 count. I believe it's 32. Yeah, 32 count Heroic by Picture This Plus. And there are 2 different sides of it. One that's got a little more modeling than the other. And so I think I'm going to do it on the one that's got a little less modeling, just so that it's more subtle. But we'll see. I may change my mind on that. And the way I'm kind of looking at the Maynia starts this year is a little bit like I did last year. Because I've got a whole bunch of things that are actually going to finish themselves up in like June and July. Most of these are going to go onto the back burner, and then once I get a couple more things finished, we'll start pulling them back out. So, and then I also got Vintage Birds, which is what all the Weeks and Gasp was for. It's a Jeanette Douglas, and I'm doing it on 32 count Wren by Picture This Plus. So, so those were the new additions to the crew. And I'm doing that, sorry, I didn't show you my needle minders. For Let Freedom Ring, I'm using one that says, I'm not a pack rat, I'm a collector. I had a hard time figuring out how to pair some of these. And then for Vintage Birds, I switched Do Re Mi's out, and I'm using Big Bird on that one, because that just seemed too appropriate. Alright. Then we've got 13 Colonies, which you all saw last week. We've got Do Re Mi, and I picked out my border colors for it. And I'm using Scraps and the Frogman from Lost Princess of Oz as that needle minder. We've got the Cinderella, and I picked its colors. We've got Gingerbread House. And then Summer Sweetness. And there we go. That's my Maynia starts. I'm going to do one every 2 days. So it's going to end, and I'm actually probably going to cheat and start it today. That way I end on the 15th versus... No, because that would put my last start as being on the 15th. So I will be starting tomorrow. So, there we go. So those are the Maynia plans. I hope everyone's looking forward to Maynia this year. I know I am. And I hope everyone has a fantastic week. Way to go, Maniacs. I never would have thought, this is our 3rd annual Maynia, never would have thought that it would have become this 2 years ago when we started this. So, way to go, all of y'all. Anyhow, that's kind of it. I will talk to you all later.